Published for the first time on October 1997 on the newspaper The New Yorker, the short work Brokeback Mountain, written by Annie Proulx, was immediately successful, even if it became globally famous and acclaimed for its movie version by the same title directed by Ang Lee, shot in 2005 with protagonists Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal. The reasons for such a significant international praise, won among homosexual and heterosexual readers alike, are rooted in the highlighting and subsequent breaking of many stereotypes on homosexuality and the attempt to make the public at large become aware of the struggles, pains, and secrets of two gay cowboys. In both its versions, Brokeback Mountain reveals a portion of the myth of the West that remained hidden for years, thus forcing the public to recognize the undisputed masculine beauty and love between two men in what it is, by definition, the most important national American narrative line. Brokeback Mountain forces the nation to view the meaning of male love in the context of rural America, where a profound love between people of the same sex is unthought of and unthinkable, unspoken and unspeakable, even if in truth love between males is an integral part of what many men embody in the American fantasy of the cowboy experience. In the work under review, the most famous and appreciated of the Wyoming Stories collection, dated 1999, the two characters, Ennis Del Mar and Jack Twist, are introduced promptly. The public identifies them immediately as cowboys, and the readers are immediately immersed in the solitary ground and spectacular setting of the Rockies. Familiar to everyone thanks to a Western culture that made it the traditional main setting of its adventures. The relationship between the men begins in 1963 as a typical friendship at first, one of those so valued by workers in the fields of the United States, where everyone works hard next to each other and shares drinks, tales and songs under the stars and especially shares games and jokes. However, at a certain point, a spark of physical attraction involves both men and culminates in intense sexual passion that breaks down every barrier. During that summer spent on the peaks of Brokeback Mountain, instead of succumbing to fear, the two men create a special bond based on sex. The focus is mostly on the deep connection that links the friendship with the sexual and emotional attraction, beyond the artificial borders that the dominating heterosexual culture tries to impose on the relationship between two men. For the first time, the deep connections, so important in Western culture, that are formed between the men, are shown to be based also on the intense attraction between the two individuals of the same sex. Due to the dominant culture in the last century, according to which masculinity and homosexuality are two categories that exclude each other, and due especially to the dominating status of the advantages that the American society bestows upon those men perceived as machos, many males that feel attracted to the same sex are forced to live as heterosexuals, having to endure a superhuman effort to silence their true self and maintain their reputation intact. Once alone on Brokeback Mountain, Ennis finds what he has been seeking for some time. That is a passionate relationship with another man who reciprocates his feelings, even if at the end he leaves Jack to marry Olma, from whom he has two daughters. Even the second protagonist, just like Ennis, puts up a virile appearance trying to make a name for himself as a bull rider, a career that shows him as a tall guy. Only afterwards, when it will be too late to recover, Ennis will fully understand what he has done and what he lost forever. He will be left only with the bloody shirt of his lover the same one that he wore when they met, and a postcard depicting the Brokeback Mountain complex, their love nest, which condemned them to a life of suffering and misunderstandings. The movie offers us a strong and never seen before depiction of the violence, part of the Western culture, against men who love each other. Still today, many heterosexual individuals see homosexuals as dangerous sexual predators, pitiful victims of AIDS, or silly and laughable sissies. Brokeback Mountain offers us a full picture of homophobia, starting from its slightest form, disapproval of any man who is not aggressive enough, then leading to suspicion against those males who appear to be too friendly. Brokeback Mountain is a safe haven from constraints, repression, frustration, and hostility that Ennis and Jack meet and experience every day. For both of them, heterosexual marriage is a mistake and a trap in which they were forced to fall because of the fear and shame showing who they truly were. The movie is not only filled to the brim with the typical melancholy of Western narrative, but his approach to love makes it fall into the Greek and Roman poetry tradition. In fact, Brokeback Mountain makes indeed visible the homosexual erotic element, which is always present. Therefore, Brokeback Mountain is the most powerful literary manifesto on the importance of male love in Western culture. The film debuted at the Venice International Film Festival, where it won the Golden Lion. The movie won praise by critics and won Golden Globe Awards and subsequently several Oscars. Still today, a few years later, it is deemed a very successful movie and the best gay-themed movie ever made. Naturally, it was not immune to criticism and censorship. For example, in Utah, it was not allowed for showing in several movie theaters. According to the director, Brokeback Mountain is a place where to hide one's secret love, and it is more about the idea of love than love itself.